Ladies and gentlemen, we are back live again. And as Matt Marcus said, we out here in 2019. I don't care what's going on. Whatever's going on with the club, I don't know. I don't care. End of the day, guess what? United play tomorrow, and it's against City. This is a massive game. If you can't show up for a game like this, you probably shouldn't be wearing the fucking shirt. Let's be real here, people. Today, I'm joined by the one, the only Matthew McFadden. Matthew, how you doing, man?
I really don't know how I'm doing, to be honest. I'm pretty bad after the Everton game. I was hoping it'd be 5-0 because my prediction tweet would have absolutely banged. So, it's like a double whammy for me. We lost, and I didn't even get a prediction right.
I mean, listen, Matt, we don't have to deal with a fact right there. Well, we typically deal in facts in 2019, but I think we'll make an exception for that one. Anyways, so real quick, I do want to address. So Dylan asked about Paulo Dybala being linked with Manchester United. It would be a good pickup, but at the same time, he doesn't fit into a specific role for what Manchester United need to be filling. So I don't know. I would be okay with it, but at the same time, I'm kind of like meh. Matthew, how about you?
I mean, there's no chance of us beating City 7-0 and him joining. Realistically, why is he? Oh, well, why is he going to leave to Man United? I know we can talk about all the biggest club in the world and all that kind of stuff. He's not going to leave.
I mean, listen, ultimately, to the fans, yes, we are the biggest club in the world, but the players right now, there's no chance. No chance.
Oh, yeah. Like, players only to some extent take into account the size of the club. There's tons of other variables like wages, actually how good the team is right now, the manager. And realistically speaking, there's no real incentive for Dybala to join us. If he was to leave, he'll probably join a team like Barcelona or Real Madrid or something, but no chance of him coming to United.
No, I agree, man. I agree. So real quick, I do want to say one thing because I was going to address this no matter what, Chris. But there was rumors that came out from L'Equipe that Paul Pogba has said that he wants to move on and he said goodbye to teammates and blah, blah, blah. Literally, that paper reports that exact report about at least 10 players a year. Almost that exact report, just cut it in the player's name and then just put in the same exact shit after that. I can guarantee you that hasn't happened because we still have 4 games left in the year, people. Why would he do it now? If we were talking about the last game of the year and that report came out, okay, I could believe it. But use common sense on that one. Use common sense because why would he do it now, cause more unrest, cause more problems? Do it for the last game of the year. And then ultimately we'd be able to tell because he'd likely be dropped. Like, just don't believe everything you hear. But I will say this, and I guarantee you everyone will agree. No one is above the club, people. No one is above the club, and if you want to go, you can go. That is a fact. And we deal with facts in 2019. I mean, Matthew, are you going to agree with that?
Yeah, pretty much. To be honest, I wouldn't be overly surprised if that's what Pogba is sort of thinking at the moment. But how do these news publications know? They're just guessing. And obviously, when they guess 100 times, one guess is going to be correct.
Yep.
But for the most part, most of these sources like L'Equipe or whatever, or The Sun in the UK, are just absolute nonsense. But they'll occasionally get something right, but it won't be because they have any sort of knowledge. It'll just be a case of they guessed it.
Yeah. And listen, all these papers have gotten to the point, guys, where all they literally do is they throw shit at a wall and they see what sticks. All of them. We need to stop. Like, here's the thing that I think all Manchester United fans need to do. Put down the Twitter, put down the social media just for a little bit. Just for a little bit. Take a step back and look at the big picture of everything. Many of these reports, I mean, guys, literally, I got a report from Bleacher Report. I was talking with Matthew about this before we went live. I got a report from Bleacher Report from The Independent saying that the players have already given up on Ollie. That they've given up on. They say they don't believe in his system. That Rashford is become too big for his head, according to people inside the club, and a bunch of other things. And I'm just like, really? So you're telling me the team that started off 14 unbeaten and the team that went and did this right here in Paris, that all of a sudden now there's all this unrest? Yeah, we've lost a few games here. Oh, well. Like, people aren't just going to give up like that. We've got to use common sense. We've got to use common sense. And Captain Matty threatened to ban me. Marcus, yes, and I did approve of that. I did. It's okay. I still love you, buddy. The team that lets Rashford take all the set pieces, which is criminal. Yeah, listen, exactly. Like, people right now, don't believe anything you're seeing. Don't believe anything you're seeing. They're trying to cause unrest, and you want to know why? Being real with yourselves, people, because we're about to jump into the city preview. If United win our next 4 games, we will get top 4. You look at the people that we have to play, and then you look at the people that Arsenal have to play, and you look at the fact that we have a direct matchup against Chelsea. If we win out for the rest of the year, we get top 4. I will put down a guarantee on that. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm not, because I'm even predicting a loss today. Spoiler alert. But at the end of the day, if we win out, we will get top 4. It's almost impossible not to see that. So, anyways, Matthew, let's go ahead and let's jump into this preview. We've addressed all the rumors to start off the stream. So, United versus City. It's derby time. So, Matthew, who are some people, that you're worried about for City? There's only a couple, right?
I'd probably say, see out of that starting 11, I'd say about 11 of them are dangerous. You can literally go through every single player in that team. Like Edison, great keeper. Kyle Walker, great right back. Laporte, top class centre back. John Stones, top class centre back. Left back, not the best area, but Fernandinho, best defensive midfielder in the league this season. Bernardo Silva, best midfielder in the league this season. David Silva, one of the best in the world. You got Sterling, arguably player of the season. And then Aguero, one of the top scorers. And then guys like, Sané or any other player. Like, it's just a stacked squad. It's career mode. That's what it is.
It's literally what I did in my FIFA career mode right now, people. I literally I did the millionaire the $1 million takeover. I added an extra, I think it was like 200 million in transfer funds. I wound up getting Kylian Mbappe, Jadon Sancho, Ruben Neves, N'Golo Kante, Mathis de Ligt. I went and got Ruben Loftus-Cheek for a backup midfielder. I went and just spent crazy, people. That's basically what Manchester City is. That's what they do. They literally just go spend whatever amount of money they want. And sadly, Matthew, I really think that we're going to see City buy a crazy amount of people in this offseason. In this summer.
Does anyone have a really bad feeling that they're going to say Max is doing it? I can just see it happening. And I'll tell you what, you might as well just hand the Premier League to them.
I hope not, man. I hope not. We'll jump us after that. Ever can. So listen, people, we have to try and be a little bit optimistic here because the game hasn't happened, and everybody knows in a derby anything can happen. We literally watched Everton do that when Everton were cold at the time. They went and they put up a really good performance against Liverpool and wound up pulling out a draw. Like, this match is at home, and we need to be able to do what we need to do to get the win. Like, this is a game where you have to put everything aside, and we need to pull it out. We need to. Like we were just saying, people, that you could look up and down City's lineup, up and down their bench, and they've basically got enough people to, with their first team, win the league guaranteed almost every single year. And then they've got enough people to be a backup squad that could compete for the league. Like that is a crazy amount of people to have in a team. That is crazy. And I will say it again. I hope financial fair play catches up to them someday. I doubt it will, but I hope it does.
Epic will catch up to them once Man City have won everything, just because it sits them.
Like
so it'll be a case of let's just enforce our rules now after they've won it. That's what's going to happen.
Yep, I really think so. I think so. We need to win. Will we? Absolutely not. I have no faith in them, the players, especially after the game Sunday. And then, Jack, we should have got Mahrez in the summer, in your opinion. So I think the only reason why we didn't, Jack, is because we went and got Sanchez. I think if we hadn't gone and gotten Sanchez, I think we would have tried to go for Mahrez in the summer, I should say. But I actually, Jack, I agree with you. I think that De Ligt is going to Barca. It just seems like what will happen. And honestly, I feel bad for Ajax because I have a feeling they're about to have that Monaco level clear out, which will be really, really sad to see. After all the great football they've played, it'll be sad to see. But Matthew, we have to talk about Manchester United. Listen, we're not playing great at the moment. That might be an understatement.
That's an understatement.
But we still have people that could cause them problems. And I really think that even though we're at home, this will be a great match for us to be able to hit out on the counter, which will make us dangerous. So who do you see as people that are going to cause City problems?
Honestly, right, I'm actually struggling to name names. I think the only person, see if we're talking about score prediction, I know we're going to go into it later on, but the only player I can really see scoring against Man City is Marcus Rashford. And that's only because he always seems to have a knack of scoring against City.
I mean, we did say that about Martial against Everton, though.
Who in the squad is really going to turn up? Like Pogba, I know he got 2 goals in the last game against Man City, or in the game last season against City. Sanchez plays well, but he's not going to play, or at least I hope he doesn't. I just can't see any real threat from us, if I'm honest. That's assuming that, the usual suspects start. Obviously, if there's been some people saying, let's just play the youth, some people saying, let the team, but if there's one thing you can't really argue against, is the fact that the youth will actually put in an effort. Whereas this team, there was tons of people criticising Martial, and some people saying, it's unfair, but that was probably the worst I've seen him in a United shirt, just in terms of overall playing attitude as well. There's times where he'd lose the ball and he wouldn't. It was blatant that he didn't care during that game. Like sometimes, where Martial has that kind of look about him, where he looks a bit sort of too laid back, but actually does put in quite a shift. Against Everton, he was just disgracefully bad in terms of his work ethic. And then in a derby, form typically goes out the window. So what you want to see is the hardest working team, because the hardest working team typically in a derby match is going to be the team that wins it. And now, from that entire starting 11, who really can you say has actually put in a real shift, apart from maybe Fred?
At the moment, man, I really can't think of anybody in the team that I'm like, oh yeah, they're definitely going to put in a good game. I think that there's going to be somebody that's going to put in a good game. Can almost guarantee it.
Our whole squad has a potential to do it against Man City, because our whole squad is based on, on their day players. But it's unfortunate now that all those players are on their off day. It just seems to be a case with every single player in the team right now.
And that's the thing, is that we have to put it into FIFA levels for people, we have a team that's filled with players that could be all the way up on their best day to a 90 overall. But most of the time, they only show up to about a 75 overall.
That's exactly it, yeah.
It's like they pick a day, they'll pick a day where all of a sudden all of them will just show up and they'll play amazing. And
it's like, see if FIFA had a consistency stat.
Oh, dude, it would.
None of our attackers would have more than 50.
No, exactly.
Like we just have a squad that's so inconsistent at Hearts, and it's not an inconsistency in terms of they'll have one good game and then they'll have one bad game, then they'll have another good game. And it's inconsistent in terms of they go on runs. So like Rashford and Martial are prime examples of this. They'll go on runs for about 6 weeks where they'll actually look like the players that we expect them to be or we hope them to be, and then the next 2 months they just do nothing. And unfortunately for all of them, like I said, they're just in that phase where they do nothing.
Yeah.
And it doesn't even look like they're going to get out of that phase at the moment. That's the most annoying thing.
And that's like, it really sucks. The sun will come out tomorrow. I bet you $1. Just keep trying about being optimistic about tomorrow. George, listen, I'm trying, man. I'm trying, but ultimately, yeah, I can't really have a lot of positivity about what's going on because everybody looks garbage. Pancash, good to see you, my friend. Pancash has got all the optimism in the world. I love it, man. So Carl Brown is saying Rashford can hurt City because he is Mank born and bred. Manchester is still red, still will be. Come on, United. I'll say 2-1 United. I mean, listen. End of the day, guys, I mean, Manchester will always be red until City wind up winning the next 20 leagues in a row and they take over the spot. And then, you could probably talk about the fact that City will be blue, but it'll be a hollow blue. But it'll still be blue. United need to do something. We need to do something to combat what is going on in the league right now. And listen, to an extent, I don't want to become like City. I don't want to be a club that just uses money to win everything because I don't want to believe the world can be like that at the end of the day. But in the short term, if that's what we need to do, then that's what we need to do. We need to spend our money that our club earns on its own, and we need to go out there and we need to actually put together an 11 that can compete across all competitions. We do. We really do. Because the players have had to grovel, so they have to respond. I mean, listen, guys. There's another thing I want to address. I saw because of somebody on Twitter that's a friend of mine. They sent me the video of Paul Pogba doing the interview after the Everton game, and basically him apologizing. And I'll say it actually did seem pretty sincere. It seemed like he was.
He did look like he actually meant it, but you know what? Don't put in a performance as terrible as that. I know Paul Pogba wasn't the worst player on the pitch, but still, there's an easy way to actually get out of that, and it's to put in 100% effort. And as long as you do that, then you can't really criticize players in that form. But no, I did see that apology.
And I saw it, and it did seem real. It did seem real, and like Dylan just said. Pogba can say he's sorry tomorrow on the pitch tomorrow. Pogba can say sorry tomorrow by playing great tomorrow and carrying the team to a win.
There's no apology in scoring a goal in the next game.
Yep.
I mean, you can say it on TV all you want, but as long as you're not actually, as long as you do it in the pitch, and that's all that matters.
Joe, we're going to be getting that into everything for the score here soon. United better park the plane tomorrow. Yikes, Joe, yikes. I don't know if that's a comment about the one thing that we try not to talk about, but if it is, you might want to think about deleting that comment. But I think I get where you're going with the sentiment, at least. I found myself agreeing with Soundness, who might be a tosser, but he was a winner as a player, and he's right about mentality. Listen, end of the day, it is about the mentality of the team. And George, I actually agree with you. It really wouldn't surprise me to see us go out there and play a great game tomorrow and wind up winning. Because it seems that's exactly what this Manchester United team at the moment would do. They would put up one of the worst performances we've seen them play and since Sir Alex Ferguson left against Everton, and then literally the next game win against Manchester City like 3-0. That's like the definition of what Manchester United is right now. We are just so inconsistent, and we literally just all of a sudden turn up at the weirdest times. Jim, exactly. We'll beat City, and then lose to Huddersfield. Yeah, exactly. That seems real, doesn't it? Like, Matthew, if I was to tell you we're going to beat City and then lose to Huddersfield, would you be surprised?
Not the slightest.
Like,
I mean, especially if you consider last season where we lost against Huddersfield in that game, the Victor Lindelof game where he has an absolute shocker. And I think we lost 2-1, but they're just so unbelievably inconsistent. And I hope actually that Everton games are, kick up the arse for them. It probably won't be because they're a bunch of spoiled brats, this team, but I just hope that they can I hope, but at the same time, I don't hope that they actually put in a performance because it shows that they can actually do it, but they just do it whenever they want.
Yeah.
Which will actually be arguably more frustrating than just accepting the fact that this team might not actually be good enough.
Well, listen, this team ultimately is not good enough. Everybody can admit that. This team is not good enough. And, Joe, I wouldn't blame Pogba if he left either. It's the same thing with De Gea. I wouldn't blame either of them for leaving. But what I will say, because Christopher Alley said he needs to be worried, he needs to perform like he did against City last season, then we might accept his apology. So this is the thing, guys, and I want everybody to remember this, because I've been thinking about why people abuse Pogba so much, and it's because they view him as the leader. You guys, you have to remember, Ashley Young is the captain of this team. If you want to look anywhere to who to blame, you look at the captain. Think about back to the Roy Keane days. You look at the captain and you see how the team plays. You guess what? We look at our captain, look at Ashley Young. Our team is literally the definition of Ashley Young. I put
not that bad.
I put a lot of thought into this, and you look at what the team is by who the captain is. Right now, Ashley Young is our captain. That tells you everything we need to know about the team. It really does. And until we have a captain that's actually worthy of wearing the C, I'm going to say we're going to continue to be inconsistent.
Kind of following on your point about captaincy and leadership. Look at every single player in our squad who's 30 years old or over. We've got Lee Grant, reserve goalkeeper. Sergio Romero, substitute goalkeeper. Ashley Young, horrendous. Antonio Valencia, leaving and horrendous. There's one or two other players. There's Matic, terrible. Mata, useless. Alexis Sanchez, overpaid and useless. So when you've got the young players in your squad, they typically are going to look towards those older heads in the team as a sort of inspiration to lead by example. And when you've got that absolute crock of shite in your team, who are supposedly, the experienced bunch who's going to be tutors to the older players, and they're that low quality, it's going to create a massive ripple effect in the squad. And then you can say, oh yeah, look down to, the next sort of category of ages where you've got like 26 to 29-year-olds. Right, you've got Herrera, possibly leaving. Pogba, possibly leaving. Lukaku, possibly leaving. Tons of other players like that. Like Phil Jones, for example, terrible. Chris Smalling, not that great. You've got those players who, how can you really expect them to take the young players under their wing if they don't even know they're going to be in the team next season? The experienced players, I'm all for having 30-year-old players in the squad, have a few of them around, but as long as they're actually of a first team quality, or if not, have that leadership. But really, there's no leadership in that squad whatsoever. And the leaders that we do have, Andy Herrera obviously is going to leave. We've got Ashley Young, who is Ashley Young, and then Pogba as well, who could very well leave in the summer. There's just so much uncertainty and such a lack of any structure in that squad. It's pretty much those who are in the younger age groups, as well as Pogba, who pretty much run it.
Yeah.
Really shouldn't be how it is.
Well, and Matthew, I was thinking about this. Rooney was because people, it was Jake that was asking who was the last leader we actually had. I would say that the last actual leader we had would have been Vidic or Rio. But in terms of somebody that we could actually look to,
yeah, I wouldn't really call Rooney either.
But I would take Rooney back as captain right now. I really would.
There's something about the captaincy that kind of took something away from Rooney's game. But he was more someone who led by example rather than he had to have that armband on. because I think that he felt that he had to be a lot more responsible as a player.
Mm.
And I don't know, just kind of took something away with him. And it also kind of coincided with the fact that he was getting older and he played so much in his teams that there was that obvious burnout. But in terms of like most recent leader, in terms of a proper Man United captain, would probably have to be Vidic. But in terms of a general, team leader, you can maybe argue Zlatan. But then again, he was only there for one season.
Yeah.
Well, kind of one season. And Eriksen has just scored an absolute banger for Tottenham.
I mean, Joe, exactly. United's identity was lost after Sir Alex left, which that is a 100% fact. So I think Connor's asking, why don't we get Sergio Ramos? I can't see him costing much, but he would whip the players into shape. Ultimately, I don't want him at Manchester United. It would be fun just for the absolute banter to Liverpool.
Yep.
But like ultimately, man, like we do need a leader. The only person I view as a possible leader on the pitch right now that should possibly get the captain's armband is Victor Lindelof. And Victor Lindelof isn't great necessarily, but Victor is actually a leader out on the pitch. And you can see it in the way that he guides the team, in the way he's telling the team to line up. You can see him pointing for what players should be doing. Victor right now is the only guy that I can see that possibly could get the armband next season. And I'd be like, okay, I'm cool with that. I mean, Pogba, like I think Pogba's a leader in the dressing room, but I don't view Pogba as a leader out on the pitch. There's a big difference between being a leader out on the pitch and being a leader in the locker room. Very big difference. So,
I think George pretty much echoes exactly my thoughts. Like, Lindelof has been good this season, and he's been our best defender. Okay, maybe apart from Luke Shaw, but our best centre-back. But is he actually United quality? Or is he only looking actually better than what he is because our other centre-backs are so terrible?
Well, and the question is, George, and this is where I think that having a discussion about this at the end of the year, which, guys, by the way, I have made an official decision that after the last game of the year, a couple days later, we will be doing a call-in show for everybody to call in and give their thoughts on the season. Whoever wants to call in can call in. And I think that it'll allow us to talk about things like this because I think that we bring in a proper center back to play in alongside Victor Lindelof, whether it be Maguire, Alderweireld, Koulibaly, De Ligt. I mean, you could go down the list of about 5 or 6 center backs. I'd be happy if we brought them in. I think that we won't know until Victor has somebody to play alongside him. If he actually is United quality or if he's just a backup at best. We'll be able to speak through floods of tears. Yes, George, you will be able to. I believe in you, buddy. Unpopular opinion, but if Pogba was Ashley Young's professionalism, we'd be in far better shape. Jim, I actually agree with that to an extent because Ashley Young doesn't pick himself. And while he might not be a good footballer, he does go out there and he at least tries. And you can see he's at least trying. Now, granted, trying doesn't get you shit because I could go out there and try. Doesn't mean I'm going to be able to do shit.
I mean, you still be better than Ashley Young.
Probably.
Yeah, like, you can't fault Ashley Young's professionalism. Like, has there been any real stories that have come out about him doing something incredibly wrong or whatever? Like, I'm pretty sure he's a really nice guy in the dressing room and all that, but I mean, he's a terrible footballer. Like you said, being professional doesn't really mean much if you're the first team, if you're the starting right back, if you're not good enough. You have to be good enough, and that's the first thing. And with Ashley Young, I mean, he's just horrific. Like, George should actually call in on the late show, on the end of the season show, and just give a nice little tribute to Ashley Young, because I know he's begging for it.
Please. And like Joe Anderson just said, Ashley Young should retire, period. Absolutely. I'm an average player, but I can tell you now, I'd put in better crosses than Young does. Yeah, guys. I mean, like I said, I haven't played the game in 10 years, and I could put in like it. Literally, just I feel like Ashley Young took crossing lessons from Antonio Valencia because Ashley Young could put a decent curl on the ball. But I feel like he literally all of a sudden is now just putting all of his strength into every single one of his crosses. Like instead of trying to go for precision, it's just it just is kind of funny. He's not a nice guy. Don't lose my supporters for the Ashley Young Witch Hunting Club. Oh man. But Matthew, let's go ahead and let's wrap this up. Let's try and keep this relatively short since I know tomorrow is probably going to be a long one. What is going to be your score prediction, and how do you see the match going? Actually, no, I'm sorry. We need to do lineups. My bad. We've been jumping into this a little bit too hard, man. So, Matthew, do you want to do the lineup together?
Yeah, sure, might as well.
All right. So, guys, also, if you want to have your starting lineups read out, get them into the live comments, and we will read them out for you. Matthew, I feel like you can't start anybody but David De Gea.
Yeah, might as well.
I can't do it. I can't. I don't expect to see anybody else at right back but Ashley Young.
I'm not sure, really. See, the issue is our right backs are so shocking. We've got Ashley Young, we've got Valencia, and we've got Darmian. It's like asking if you want to be shot, stabbed, or run over. And I'll be honest, I'll take being run over any day of the week.
So I actually could see, like Joe Anderson said, I could see a 3-5-2 tomorrow. I could. I'm still going to go with the 4-3-3 as the prediction, but I could see a 3-5-2 tomorrow, just so you know. So, Matthew, if you disagree with me at any point, let me know.
Sure.
So, but I just look at Ashley Young, and I think that in a game like tomorrow, that Ollie's going to go with the team that he thinks is best. And I think that Ashley Young will be a part of that team.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Exactly. Unfortunately, but I think it's going to happen.
You know, I actually kind of hope that he starts just for the fact that it might be one game closer to realization that he's a terrible right back and he does a Gary Neville and retires at halftime.
That's a fingers crossed moment right there, buddy. That is a fingers crossed moment right there.
But, you know, it's not going to happen, let's face it.
Saul Solstice, good to see you, man. Haven't seen you in a while. I think that we're going to see a back two. I would think we're only going to see two center backs. I mean, do you think so too, or do you think we're going to see a 3-5-2?
No, I think we'll keep a four at the back.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. But so I would say that Smalling and Lindelof are going to start at center back.
Yeah, pretty much. I don't really feel any. I was going to say I don't feel any need to change it, but yeah, might as well keep it that way.
I don't see it changing. I mean, would I like to see Eric Bailly come in and get a chance after what everybody else on the team has done? Yes, but I don't see it happening. Luke Shaw's back. That's a positive. So I think that Luke Shaw being back will actually be extremely beneficial to somebody I'm going to put in the front three. But, I mean, Luke Shaw's got to step right back in and play, right, Matthew?
I know exactly who that certain person in the front three is, and I'd 100% agree with you.
Yep.
Yeah, Luke Shaw back.
Yeah, I can't wait to get them both back together and playing. So I'm actually going to go with the midfield three that did relatively well in the last time they all played together in Fred, McTominay, and Pogba. I mean, are you with me on that one?
Ideally, it'd be Fred, Herrera, and Pogba, but I think we're trying to go for a blend of what we want and realistic at the same time. And considering Herrera's not getting a game since that whole PSG thing, yeah, that's probably going to be in the midfield.
Once again, that's a fingers crossed, because if Matic plays, dude, we are fucked. We are fucked.
Plays, then, to quote someone on Twitter, we need a calculator for the Man City result.
Like, if Matic plays, not only am I going to be predicting a loss, I'm going to be predicting a big loss.
I'll be predicting another 6-1 if Matic starts.
Yeah, no, it's going to be bad if Matic starts. I mean, Nemanja Matic has gone back to being Nemanja Static at this point. It's bad, people. It's so bad. So I really hope that the midfield, like Matthew said, I hope that Herrera plays. I don't see it happening, though, because I think that Herrera is off to PSG. And I think Ollie's basically trying to say, hey, you made your decisions. Now you're not going to play. So I get it. But so, Matthew, the front three is where things are going to get interesting. Because you realistically could make a combination of five or probably five different front threes, and we'll probably still not get it right. So I would say that Rashford is probably the one that I'm going to guarantee will start somewhere. Do you agree?
I think he will, but for me, the first name in that front three isn't even a front three player. It's Diogo Dalot.
Really?
Just because of how shocking our front three has been. I'd start Dalot as a right winger.
I mean, listen, man, I don't necessarily disagree. I could see him playing at the right wing, but I actually want to see Dalot come off the bench in that scenario then, because I feel like he's more deadly in the right wing position coming off the bench.
Kind of true, but at the same time, at least he does something actually, unlike Jesse Lingard. So
you're not wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, but I don't see Ollie starting Dalot at the right wing position. That's the thing, is I'm trying to be realistic with how Ollie's going to do it, and I don't see Ollie starting him at the right wing.
Yeah, true.
Like, I think ultimately who's going to play on that right-hand side, or quote-unquote play on the right-hand side, is probably going to be Romelu Lukaku.
I hate all this Lukaku the right wing kind of stuff.
But once again, I don't disagree. I'm just going with what Ollie's going to do.
Yeah, like he had one good game against Arsenal and suddenly he's a right winger. He's just not a right winger whatsoever. He's a penalty box merchant, and even then he's a bit of a joke. But yeah, I can maybe see Rashford and Lukaku both starting. And if that's the case, I'd rather see Rashford on the right wing, because at least he's actually got a good ton of pace and can to some extent put in that natural cross for Lukaku's head on.
Yeah.
I can just see that kind of happening.
Listen, and Matthew, I want to let you know, I agree with you. I think that starting Dalot in a game like this would actually probably be beneficial. But I could see Dalot and Lukaku both coming on at the same time to replace the two people in those positions at the time.
See, yeah, like Dalot and Lukaku could form a nice little partnership with how good Dalot's crosses are. But at the same time, do we really want Lukaku?
I mean, listen, I'm not going to disagree with you. I actually would like to see, and I never wanted to see him in the United shirt again, but at the same time, right now, he literally cannot be any worse than anything that's going on out there. Alexis Sanchez. Play him on the freaking right wing. For God's sakes, play him on the right wing.
You know what? I'm sort of in that stage of, we're going to get battered by City. It's not going to be too much of a hindrance if we were to actually play him. Ideally, we'd never see him again, but at the same time, it's kind of like, oh, whatever. We're going to lose anyway.
That's where I'm at. It's like I'm predicting a loss anyways. So, I mean, Matthew, no, I'm just going to go ahead and say out my front three. I'm going to say it's likely going to be, this is what the likely front three will be, is Martial on the left. And then I think that Rashford and Lukaku will play. And where they play, I don't know. I don't know if Rashford will be out wide, Lukaku up top, Rashford up top, Lukaku out wide. I don't know. But I'm saying that's going to be the front three. What do you think is going to be the front three?
What I think is going to be the front three, I'd probably say Lukaku, Rashford, and Martial. But what do I want the front three to be? I don't want Martial to start. I think that performance against Everton was absolutely disgraceful. And he kind of needs to be punished for that. And for the manager to say to him, look, these are the biggest games of the season. These are when the world is going to watch you. You don't deserve to play in this game based on, the terrible run of form you've been in. You're going to stay at the bench and I'll bring you on after 60 minutes to see how you do from there. And then I'll maybe start someone like, I don't know, even someone like Andy Pereira. Like even Andy Pereira, or even someone like, I don't know if Angel Gomez really, but one of those players who really doesn't get too many games, just to see actually what they do under that kind of atmosphere.
See,
but Martial, I've just fallen out of love with him completely.
Matthew, honestly, what I would do, just to send the message, I would start one of the people that are youth in that front three. One of the likes of Gomez, Chong, and Greenwood. I would start one of the three just to send a message to everybody that's been playing to say that you haven't been good enough. At least play one of them. Because I think that would send a message.
What I do is if you start a senior first 11 that have 7 youth players on the bench and just say to them, right, this is the biggest game of your season. If you're not performing, I'm not afraid to take you off, even in the first half for a youth player. Not just any youth player, a youth player who's actually going to be making his debut or whatever, who's actually hungry for it.
Yep.
And give them that kind of pressure.
Yep.
Because they don't want to be intimidated by being a senior member of the squad, one of the biggest earners in the team, supposedly one of the better players in the team, to be brought off for 18-year-olds to not play the game before.
Yep. No, I'm right there with you, Matthew. I am right there with you. So real quick, I'm going to read out people's lineups. We've got Dylan Walsh, who's going De Gea, Young, Smalling, Lindelof, Shaw, McTominay, Pogba, Herrera, Lingard, Rashford, Sanchez. Jake is going De Gea, Young, Lindelof, Smalling, Shaw, Fred, McSauce, Pogba, Sanchez, Rashford, Lukaku. Chris is going De Gea, Delo, Bailly, Lindelof, Shaw, Fred, McTominay, Pogba, Lingard, Rashford, Martial. George Kyle is going De Gea, Young, Smalling, Lindelof, Shaw, Matic, McTominay, Pogba, Lingard, Lukaku, Rashford. Jim is going with De Gea, Delo, Lindelof, Smalling, Shaw, McTominay, Pereira, Gardner. Ooh, throwing in the youth player there. I like it. Chong, Sanchez, and Greenwood. And I'm serious. The rest don't deserve a start after Everton. Jim, listen, I agree with you. I wouldn't even mind starting a full youth front three, but I just know it won't happen. But I really like your thought process at the very least. Let's see here. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to just make sure I don't scroll too fast so that way it doesn't jump to the bottom. I don't see anybody else putting up a 11 prediction. Football Theory, loving the pop vinyl, Andrew. Football Theory, thank you. Yeah, that's I'm going to shout out Nicky Ducky. Thank you very much, Nicky Ducky. Again, he sent that to me from over where you guys are at right now, or most of you guys are at, I should say. He sent it from the UK to me for free to add to my studio, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate that. Just thank you, man. I really appreciate it. Martial, he's made me into a hater. Can't stand him, especially right now. Jake, listen, ultimately, I completely get where everybody is coming from with that. I really do. Right now, Martial has been bad, and I mean bad. And this last game, not only was he bad, but like Matthew and I talked about before going live, he didn't even work hard inside of that. There are times where he'll be bad, but he won't work hard. I mean, but he'll work hard. In this last one, he didn't even work hard. Like, it was not a good performance. But I'm going to be really interested to see what kind of message Ollie is going to send out. Because apparently in his press conference, he basically said there's not going to be any wholesale changes. So I hope that he's right on that. I do hope that he's right. Dylan saying, I think Mata should start. I mean, I don't think Mata isn't a starter anymore. If Mata comes off the bench, I actually wouldn't mind that. But Matthew, you know what? I'm not seeing any more 11s. So let's go ahead. Give me your score and how you think the match is going to go.
I could probably give 2 words to describe how the match is going to go, and that's absolute beating. But then again, we're so inconsistent that we'll probably just win. We'll probably get, a scrappy 2-1 win, and the winner will come off Lukaku's face in the last minute, and everyone will be thinking again, oh yeah, there's nothing to really worry about. We've beaten City, the best team in the world, and it's not how it works. But if I was going to give a realistic expectation based on how the game should go, I'd say like City 3-4-1 easily. But then again, football's not played in paper.
No, it's not. And guys, real quick, I also want to say, if you guys want to have your score predictions read out, get them in the live comments. We will read them out for you. But Matthew, I'm sorry for interrupting you. Go ahead.
But yeah, to be fair, in terms of what's a realistic outcome, nothing less than a City hammering. And do you know what? See if City hammers, I'm not even going to be mad. I'm just actually going to sit there and accept it, because it's hopefully going to send a message to the players, and send a message to the board.
Yep.
Say to them, right, we need a huge player. We don't need a case of 3 in and 3 out. We need 5 or 6 signings in all this first full season to actually get his reign kickstarted.
Yep. I literally couldn't agree with you more, Matthew. Like, if I'm being realistic, if I'm being hopeful, I'll say United will scrap out a scrappy 2-1 win, like Matthew said, and that would just go into the consistency thing. But being realistic, I'm going to say that it's going to be City 3, United 1. That is my actual score prediction, is City 3, United 1, and I think City will pretty much dominate us throughout the entire game. I think it'll be very reminiscent to the 3. Well, Matthew, it was 3-1 earlier in the year too, right?
Yeah, it was 3-1.
Yeah, so I'm relatively certain it's going to be very similar to that.
Honestly, don't be surprised with another Man City 6-1.
And Dale, I'm 100% with you there, my friend. There's no point in beating City than losing to Chelsea. Like, honestly, if we go out there and we beat City, this is a big if. If we go out there and we beat City, we need to win the rest of our games. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. And if anybody's mentality drops, every game from that point on has to be a fucking championship game for you for the rest of the year. It's taking it one game at a time and literally saying, this is what needs to happen. This is a championship game because this is going to get us to top 4. If we beat City, there is no fucking excuse for losing any game for the rest of the year. That is a fact. That is an absolute fact. And Bo, you're absolutely right. Football is full of surprises. But let's see where you guys went with your score predictions. I think some of them are probably going to make me laugh. So Chris went with 5-0 to City. Yeah, I could probably see it. George said we're either going to win 2-1 or lose 2-1. I mean, yeah, I could definitely see that too. Saban's going 2 or 3-0 to City. Vandy Candy's saying 4-2 City. Dylan is saying 3-1 City. Dale is saying 2-1 United, which I love. I love the optimism, man. I really do. And I hope we win. I do. I want you guys to know that. I hope we win. I don't believe in this whole bull crap of, should we lose to make sure Liverpool don't win the league. I don't care about any of that. I care about Manchester United making top 4. So Manchester United need to win this game to get top 4. Yeah, I'm not predicting a win, but we need to win. 2 totally different things. Let's see here. So Jake is saying 4-0 City, back-to-back 4-0 defeats. Oh, Jake, that'll just be depressing. Young versus Sterling, let the mauling begin. Joe Anderson said City wins 6-0 in the first half. Yikes. Jim is going 3-0 City. I normally am positive, but this team I'm normally positive to this team, but can't anymore. They're all bottlers. Yeah, I mean, Dylan, I get where you're coming from, man. I get where you're coming from. Football Theory is going 3-0 City. Mo is going 2-0 United. Once again, I'm loving that positivity, man. I really am. City scored 3 goals against Tottenham in the first 15 minutes. I mean, Joe, yeah, but they also only scored 1 in their last game against them in the league. 0-0, big games are always boring. You're not fully wrong about that. Normally, big games wind up being boring. And Dale, you're right. All eyes are on us tomorrow. Sophie, good to see you. We'll have to get you back on the show soon. I really want to get you back on the show soon. And City also had no goal offsides. Yes. Yes. Let's see here. I'd rather Liverpool win the league and us get top 4, if I'm honest. Chris, I'm right there with you. I don't care about any of this bull crap of, oh, I don't want City to win the league, blah, blah, blah. End of the day, the only team I care about is Manchester United. Yeah, guess what? Liverpool win the league. It sucks. But I really believe that if Liverpool win the league, that'll be more of a wake-up call to United than City winning the league ever will be. Think about where Liverpool have been. And if they won the league, that would be the ultimate wake-up call to Manchester United as a club, as a whole. I really, really believe that. I think we will beat City tomorrow. A lot of United fans not wanting it to happen, so they will win the piss people off. I think we will see a reaction tomorrow, and we need to. Sophie, I mean, we were talking about that a little bit earlier. We need to see a reaction from these players after the performance they put in against Everton on Sunday. Like, we need to see a reaction. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I don't care if we're down to 10 men. We need to see a reaction. We need to see a reaction. And the players need to show up, and they need to play. We should rage quit tomorrow. Oh, Matthew, I like that. But, I mean, listen, I like I said, I don't care about any of that bullcrap about Liverpool winning the league. If they do, they do. And hopefully that's a real wake-up call. And football theory, you are right about that. The players really do owe us after the performance they put in midweek, the performance they put in on Sunday. There really should be no youth in the squad, and there should have been. That tells me Ollie is saying to the players, go on, prove yourselves to them, and making them react to the shambles on Sunday. I mean, Sophie, yeah. Like, I really think that ultimately things really shouldn't change, and Ollie's already kind of confirmed it. Things really shouldn't change much from Sunday to here. Maybe one change to bring back Luke Shaw into the fold. But besides that, I really don't want to see that many changes. One of our players should pretend he's been stamped to get one of City sent off. Yeah, I mean, listen, whatever.
I mean, we'll need about 5 red cards for it to be a draw.
They'd still play the ball around us with 10.
It's like 4-0 after 20 minutes. We should just end the game so it's a 3-0 loss to save our goal difference a bit.
I mean, listen, save the goal difference. That's what matters most, right? Dale, listen. So we won't discuss that right now. But at the end of the season, we're really going to start talking about transfers and rumors and everything like that. We will start getting into that. But so I mean, just. Basically, if you want to hear some transfer talk, I mean, we talk about it kind of throughout videos, like where people will ask questions. But I'm wrapping this up here because we've already gotten everybody's predictions in. So be sure to catch back with us whatever you can, because we will do a lot of talk about that. If United lose 1-0, is it still an improvement? Joe, no, a loss is still a loss. Let's get fifth to see Greenwood and Gardner lift the Europa League trophy. Oh, Jesus. In all honesty, guys, and this is something that, I mean, this will be our final talking point. Could talk about the fact that we probably will finish outside the top 4. If we go to Europa League next year, we need to just play the U23 squad in the Europa League. Don't even bother playing the normal team unless you're getting down to the nitty-gritty where you could possibly win it. Like, just play the full U23 squad. Because I don't want to waste our time in that competition again. I just don't. But Matthew, I mean, do you agree with me on that?
Kind of, yeah. I wouldn't say play a lot of youth players, but have a more focus on both the youth players and those kind of players who really don't get in the squad. So kind of like your Darmian, Pereira, those kind of players.
Yeah, like basically players that are true either fringe players or just or youth players. Like, just we cannot be focusing on that competition. We just can't.
It keeps them match fit as well.
Yeah.
Whenever if our team gets injured or whatever, we can easily slot them in. There's no concerns in regards to like match sharpness or anything.
Exactly. No, exactly, Matthew. But anyways, Matthew, we wrap it up here. I heard you make some fantastic posters, and you haven't gotten an order in a while.
Oh, mate, it's been about 16 years. I'm lonely.
You guys, Matthew is lonely. He can make you one of these. Order one. Go to offsidegraphics.com.
I mean, if there's any Spurs fan watching, then it's 15% on every single Spurs poster. And I've got that running until, I think, the end of this month. But yeah, every single poster's on there. Once I get done with uni, which is like the 6th of May, I'm going to be making a ton more. So stay tuned for all that nice stuff. But, also, if you're a golf fan as well, we'll be making Tiger Woods posters just to absolutely milk that occasion.
I mean, we got to get it out there, Matthew. We definitely got to get it out there. Joe, listen, Pochettino, I mean, I wanted him a long time ago. Don't want him now. I want Ollie to just absolutely just destroy everybody. That's what I want, is I want Ollie to absolutely kill it. United getting destroyed. Can't wait. Michael Thompson, yeah, probably you're right. You are probably right, because it seems like it's going to be a bad day at the office tomorrow. But anyways, guys, that's a wrap. Thank you all for everybody that joined us while we were live. I really hope that if you're watching the video afterwards, that you'd leave us a comment in the video below. I will always interact with you in the comments as long as you're not a complete jackass. Not encouraging it, obviously. But really, people, I really do love you all. And the support that you guys have given me, it really does mean the world to me. I do this because you guys make it worth it. You really do. So thank you to everybody that joined us, and I really hope that you all have a great night, a great day, wherever you're at and whatever you're doing. Keep doing you, because I love you guys, and you guys are awesome. And let's hope United can pull off the massive upset tomorrow against City.